when I had found out she was seeing this particular man, I asked her about him. I confronted her about things that I knew or found out about him myself. And, you know, I told her I wasn't happy with it and that I wasn't comfortable with it. And if she wanted to continue to see her grandson, my son, that she would need to make changes. And that's not something that she's comfortable with because she does want to have her own life, which I completely understand, but I don't want her to have this life with this other person. I don't respect that other person, and I don't want that person to be in my son's life.
It's almost like we're talking about this person, and it's like now it's time to kind of lift this veil of secrecy.
Of course.
Because, do you know what I'm saying?
Yes.
And I know that it's hard for you to do that, but maybe that's the reason why ultimately you ended up coming.
Correct.
Because you needed some help on dealing with a whole lot of issues.
Definitely.
So tell me, what is it about this man that you don't like, and why don't you want him around your son?
I found out that he was a registered sex offender.
So he's a child.
I don't know specifics.
All right.
I do not know specifics regarding his case or what's going on his side. All I know is from what I found.
I looked it up.
That's exactly,
And
I mean, that's the only information that I actually have is what I looked up.
Have you seen, you know, that sex offenders are supposed to register on the internet?
Yes.
And that information is public knowledge. And I looked it up.
I never went in to get any of the information.
Well, I'm glad you're here because I can tell you. He is a registered sex offender. He is registered on the internet. It's public knowledge. It's public records. Have you ever seen it?
No. I've talked to him about it.
I want you to see it because a picture is worth 1,000 words. It shows there that he's a registered sex offender. Now, he's in jail, he's in prison right now again, right, for violating his probation?
Mm-hmm.
And it was because he was put around your grandson?
No.
Okay, tell me what happened.
I have 2 children at home, a girl that's 14 and one that's 10.
And the police or whoever found out that he was around them? How did he end up back in prison?
Because allegations were made that he stayed at my house with my girls in that home.
Has he ever visited you at the house?
Yes, he has.
Okay, do you understand that one of the stipulations of individuals who are sex offenders or convicted of being sex offenders, that they can't be around people with children or around children?
Unsupervised. These kids,
okay, well,
children.
Let's start from this part for me, okay? Look at the picture and absorb in your spirit right now and in your mind that he is a convicted sex offender. Do you see that?
Mm-hmm.
And you've never seen that before, is that correct?
No.
Now, looking at it, what does that make you feel? Anything? If it doesn't, just tell me the truth.
I can't say that it doesn't bother me. It bothers me just a little because of what his past is. But he
Give me the paper.
has gone to prison.
You're going to continue to see it?
Absolutely.
I don't know what deep, dark depths of wounds you have to continue dating or being in a relationship with somebody who is known to be a harm to children around you. And then you have 2 young girls who live with you, and you allow this person to come around your children. It's just so wild to me. Then you have the audacity to wonder why your daughter wants nothing to do with you and your grandkid, unsupervised, because of this man. If you're willing to bring somebody like this around your young girls that are in your home, and then assume that a mother's gonna just let you have the son carte blanche, no questions asked, honey, you need a reality check. It is absolutely insanity that she is not at all finding this a little strange. Your duty is to protect those children, and you are just absolutely not caring at all. There's plenty of men out there. Why this one?
Okay. Is there any history from either of you of any past molestation? Okay. What happened?
When I was about 10 years old, one of my mother's previous boyfriends me.
Was he a sex offender too, or we don't know?
Not that I know of. Not that I have
Not
no
at that
idea.
time.
You she shared that with you?
Yes, she did. We did everything at that time to have him prosecuted.
Well, baby, let me tell you this. Here you go. What you went through was not easy. A lot of times in these kinds of situations, secrecy equals shame. And you're dealing with a great deal of shame because you never got the help that you needed for this. How does this make you feel, seeing the pain that she's still experiencing
It
because
bothers
of
me a lot.
boyfriend?
It does bother me. I mean, I did everything, and still to this day will do anything to protect my family.
But listen to what you just said to me. And this is not beat up on you day, okay? I'm truly, not only as a judge, but as a woman, trying to comprehend what is going on inside of your mind. Because to say that I'm trying to protect and that I will do anything to protect my family, yet I show you a picture of a registered sex offender who is a child molester, who is currently in prison because he violated his probation for being near your children, yet you say to me that you're going to be welcoming him back into your life. That is inconsistent with saying, I want to protect my family. You protect your children by protecting them from this animal who did this to somebody else. You can't separate your personal life from your life with your kids. It's intertwined. It's all the same thing. You can shake your head till the cows come home. There is no way to separate you. Let's take away the mother thing. How can you lay down or kiss a man who has violated a child? To me, there's no greater crime of all the crimes there is, and I know there's murder. I'm a judge, and I have seen the worst of the worst. But do you know there's something broken in the spirit of a child when somebody hurts them?
Judge Penny is absolutely correct on this. This is something that is so devastating to a human being at their purest of innocence when they're a child. And I just don't understand how somebody could do that for one thing, but then on top of that, how somebody could date somebody or be in romantic relationship with somebody who's currently in the midst of that. And not only that, but has young girls and young children with them. You're not protecting them from this person who could potentially change and harm them and change the trajectory of their whole life, ruin their whole life. And, you know, it makes me think of the verse where Jesus is speaking about if anyone were to cause harm and sin to a child, it would be better for them to tie a millstone around their neck and toss it into the ocean than to face God after that. And I see that. I feel that. And if you don't feel that for children all around the world who are being harmed in this way, it's so shocking to me. And it makes me wonder about her. It makes me wonder where she lies and where she stands on these types of things. Like, how could you be so desperate for somebody to love you? Like, it just doesn't make any sense. What do you guys think about this?
You never get over it. What you learn to do is try to deal with it.
Keisha's been involved in all my relationships, and for some reason or another, she needs to pick and choose who I'm with.
Because you're picking child molesters. be your boyfriend.
You don't know how I feel. You don't know how he feels.
Well, you tell me how you feel. Laying down with a child, kissing a child, knowing that he could, again, want your 10-year-old child.
Would never happen. It wouldn't happen.
Why do you think it wouldn't happen? It happened when she was molested. So what's so special about him?
Because he's not going to be interacted with my children.
What is he going to be doing?
He's not living with me. He's not staying with me. All our visits are going to be outside of my home.
Do you know he has one goal in life, and that's to get to these kids? That's all he cares about.
It'll never happen.
How do you know that? It'll never happen if you separate from him. What I'm trying to figure out is your level of self-esteem. It is almost unthinkable for me. Do you know, honey, I could do bad by myself. I'll stay by myself before I'll get me any kind of man. Do you know 1 in 4 girls before the age of 18 are in this country? Do you know there are 500,000 of these child molesters who are registered as sex offenders in this country? What story does he have other than that he has perpetrated children that will be affected for the rest of their lives, like your daughter?
But his own family knows what happened. If you talk to his family will tell you absolutely something different.
Long after he's gone.
I love
and
my
you
daughter.
Listen
I
to
love
me.
my family.
We're in our 40s. Baby, when 70 and 80s come, this man will be nowhere else to be found. All you gonna have are these same children that you trying to separate and say that it does not matter.
I'm not separating them.
Well, you say you're separating them.
I will separate that part of my life.
What they're trying to figure out is what is in mama's heart that we don't matter enough, that she can't just go out and get somebody else. I've been molested before. Tell me, Kate, is that what you're feeling? Tell her then. Maybe she hears it from you because I'm not getting through to her.
I mean, I want her to be happy. I do want her to be happy, but with the right person.
How can you choose that person?
It's not my choice.
Exactly.
And that's the problem that I have, that it isn't my choice, and I want you to be happy. And I've told you that a million times.
But every relationship I get, you tell me, this guy's not good, that person's not good, what are you doing with him? He's ugly, he's this. It's always he. I never said anything, ever, 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 not that I ever would, about what you do in your life.
Were you molested?
I support.
Were you ever molested?
No.
That's why you can't say anything. She was molested. She has every right to be able to say, Mom, you had a boyfriend once before. He violated me. I want to make sure that this does not happen to my little Gerber baby. She has the right to say that. Do you understand that she feels damaged? Do you want another one of your children to have to grow up for the rest of their lives feeling like they're broken and they're not whole? That's all I'm trying to say to you. You're an adult. You have the right to do what you want to do. But is the price to be paid not being able to have a relationship with your grandchild and a strained relationship with your own daughter? When you started out, you said to me, I want to protect my family. Suppose he's betraying you, but it will be at the expense of your children and your grandchild. Why are you shaking your head no?
Because it won't happen. I still have a choice, and my choice will not be for him to be around my family.
But
my girls.
do you feel for the rest of your life he's going to have his own apartment, you're going to have your own home?
Yes.
And
If it means living 2 separate lives, that's basically what it's going to be. I will have my time that I spend with my girls, with my family, with my grandson. And then I will make time for him.
I can't respect that decision. Not for my son and not for my sisters. You know, I do, thank God, have the choice for my own son. I don't have it for my sisters.
You're blind in many ways. You don't want to see the truth. Kay, you're 27, and I'm so impressed with you at 27. Honey, you're a fighter. You hear me?
Thank you.
I just want to be able to feel happy I want my kids to feel happy and loved and protected, which is everything I'm going to do.
But you're not going to break up with him for your children?
No.
It's not a decision I can make right now.
If she's happy with him, then I want her to be happy, but I'm not going to let those kids be in that.
Well, you've come to court today to get unsupervised grandparents' visitation with your grandson. In all 50 states in this country, there are laws that allow for third parties to have certain visitation rights. But those rights will never come before the parent unless the parent is found to be unfit. And obviously we don't have that here. And so at this time, I believe that your daughter is quite justified in saying that you cannot have visitation rights with your grandson unsupervised. The court feels like you're making a big mistake, that you've only known this man 1 year, and that even if it is a scintilla of an opportunity for him to get next to your children and your grandchild, you should not even take that opportunity. All I ask is that you search deep within the recesses of your consciousness to find out what is it about you that you're constantly attracted to these kinds of men with this kind of drama. So I find in favor of the defendant, there'll be no grandparents' visitation rights, and court is adjourned.
All right.
Well, what did we think was going to be the outcome of this? This lady is absolutely insane to think that this is what the outcome would be for her favor. To be in this situation a number of times, like, sure, I could have grace for somebody to be dating somebody one time, I guess, maybe once. But to, on multiple occasions, frequently dating the same type of man, causing the same type of pain to your children, and to assume it won't happen ever again is just insanity. You're just doing the same thing over again and thinking you're going to get a different result, and it just doesn't make any sense. Of course, this guy's going to tell you everything you want to hear, knowing that you have 2 young children that he could get access to. All it takes is one time to ruin a life. It just takes one time. And the fact that she has no willingness to step up and be like, no, this is not right. I'm going to protect my children and protect the innocence of people who can't protect themselves is just wrong. And to be honest with you, you're lucky that your daughter even gives you supervised visitation. If it were me, I would say you don't get any visitation because I don't even trust you now. And that's just my take on it. I want to know what you guys think about this though, because some people might think differently. I can't imagine anyone thinking differently, but I would like to hear your thoughts on this. So please leave your comments down below, and I'd love to look at them.